The only gag I've got is to just be like, well. Stop trying to make well happen.
Well, my dirty little whore. It's like, come here, give mummy a hug.
It's one of those things that I'm convinced she just doesn't know how to react to anything. They're like, do you want a coffee? Well. 2 sugars and spice, please. I'm sorry, your car needs new wheels. Well.
Get those wheels on my car. And I'll have a well of a time.
The movie constantly is just trying to make it happen. So when she returns and Elle Fanning's even like, well. And it's like, you're not doing it right.
Well, I do believe I'm home.
Consider yourself.
Well.
My name's Carl.
My name's Oscar.
And who would watch this? 3, 2, 1. Watch it.
Watch this.
Who's going to watch it?
We don't know. We'll find out.
Is it us?
Not us.
It's weird that this has become the opening.
Just
because we couldn't tee it up when we were doing this over the internet.
It was more organic though, I feel. This is more who we are. Failures.
Unable to talk in synchronicity. I love the idea that the Olympics, it's like synchronized swimming or whatever it is. It's just talking, and we're like, and 3, 2, 1.
Watch this.
Who would
Silver.
Ooh, an 8.
Welcome to Who Would Watch This, the podcast where we watch a film, chat about the film, and then try and figure out who would watch this.
Today we're talking about Maleficent 2, The Mistress of Evil. Currently has a Rotten Tomatoes score of 39%, an IMDb score of 6.4, and a Letterboxd rating of 3. Oscar, what's the plot?
I'm getting up the small one. I don't know. I haven't seen the first.
We can rattle it off.
Okay, the plot roughly is, it's been 5 years since the events of the first one. I don't know what the events of the first one was.
I think Chappelle Corby was in it. No, not Chappelle Corby.
What the...
Chappelle... Who's the one from District 9? Chappelle Corby.
What, the South African guy?
Yeah, what's his name?
He was Maleficent. Wait, he's the villain?
He's the villain in the first one.
Stop it.
Yeah, I know his name's not Chappelle Corby. It's Sholto Copley.
Oh.
So close.
So close. He was the one that actually had the drugs.
Yeah, he was the one smuggling the drugs. That's right.
You Chappelle Corby? Get up.
She's like, I think you're getting me confused with the actor in District 9. It's just, the judge is like, you know what? You're right.
But what can I do as a humble judge?
You look like a drug mule to me.
You give off that vibe. What's the plot of this one? Ooh, let's figure this out. Okay, I don't know what happened in the first one, so I'm just going to assume it's the plot of Sleeping Beauty, but from her perspective?
Yes.
That's it?
Except they're like, what if the man, like the dad was the villain?
The dad of who?
Her dad.
Got you.
Elle Fanning's dad.
Got you.
Or stepdad.
Well, it's been 5 years since that happened.
Yes.
Aurora, who is Elle Fanning. No licensed music. Disney will literally kill us.
All right.
It will kill us.
There's a red dot on your head. They're quick.
The mouth of a fucking sniper.
I swear we loved this film.
We love this film. Who would watch this?
Me,
every
immediately.
audience. Every audience from 4
Mickey
to...
Mouse is giving me this. Just cutting across the throat.
His white gloves are going, I swear to God, you fucking... Shucks.
Shut the fuck up.
What's the plot of this one? Okay, Maleficent's essentially...
it's Meet the Fockers. Let's be honest.
It's Meet the Fockers / Shrek 2 for the first 45 minutes, and then a harrowing war story for the last hour.
I can't stress to you how much this is Saving Private Ryan, but with magical beings. It's insane.
We should go back in time before we even fucking watch this, and then figure out who would watch this. This is why Carl does it, not me. Carl, you pitched Maleficent 2 because I remember when you saw this in cinemas, you were genuinely distressed walking out.
Yeah, I had a pretty awful time watching this movie. I thought it was a giant waste of money. Mm-hmm. Thought it was a confusing mess. Mm-hmm. I thought it was intensely violent for no reason. And I think I called up your partner, and I walked around the shopping center in tears, describing the movie to her. I hate it. I think this is a fucking terrible movie. I will be discussing it at length.
I'm very keen for next week.
Sentence by sentence.
You've scared me a bit. I'm not too keen on it. But like, I'll go like, how bad can it be? I'm saying that so it's a good soundbite. So in a week's time, I go, oh, it was that bad.
It's just like it's the type of thing where you question every single creative decision at every single point.
Did it make a lot of money? Because the first one makes like $1 billion. That was
it was such a runaway hit.
Yeah.
This one, it made like half, which is still a lot. But its budget's like repulsively big.
Yeah.
Like repulsively big. Hang on, let me look up at how big it is.
Just gagged on the budget.
Yeah. Pretty repulsive.
Well, who was it? Who is it for?
Who's it for?
Yeah.
God. So I saw it in a massive cinema.
Yep.
One other girl in there, sitting near front row. I think it's for her.
How eager was she? How close can I get to the screen?
She was like, "Can I be in this?" I think I guarantee you, she would have had a much better time had I not been up the back at every point going, oh no! Why is it doing this now?
You had a big cigar, if I recall, and you were mocking it, laughing at it.
Just, why?
Carl, what if I told you that was Angelina Jolie in the front row?
Wouldn't surprise. I guarantee she would have been down there going, no. Except instead of a cigar, she's just counting millions of dollars.
Oh God, so much money.
She's like, would have leaned over to me and been like, I paid $30,000 for that one line. Just like,
how depressing is that? You could figure out like how much money you're getting per vowel.
You can't say vowels.
Yeah. Pay no fucking money. What a cruel thing to add to the script.
I know. Why can't I say A, E, I, O, U, and sometimes Y?
It's a flip of the coin if I get to say Y. Sometimes you get paid. It's only $15,000 for a Y.
I love it. At the end of the movie, they're like, we're going to flip a coin to see whether or not we'll pay you for the Ys. And you're like, no, please. I need this. I have a family.
Most of my dialogue is just the question why.
Oscar, who do you think this is going to be for?
I've seen Sleeping Beauty, like, the 1940s, something, that one.
She sleep much in that? I've never seen it.
It's like a less it's like the Superman of Cinderella, if that makes sense. Like it's pretty nothing.
Yeah.
It's very boring. And the only thing that's interesting is Maleficent.
Nice. I've seen Maleficent scenes from the original, and that scene where she turns into a dragon, and I'm like, that's cool. I think that's the main thing people like from that is Maleficent, right? Like
Yeah,
the villains,
think, Sleeping Beauty's asleep. The prince is literally like the most default thing. I remember watching as a kid. It's not. I didn't. It's just like a fairy tale. It's like the bog standard. You need a fairy tale. I remember the Thorn Garden being amazing. I like that bit. So if this film has a Thorn Garden in it, this is for me.
Nice.
Love that.
Cool. Fingers crossed for a
Fingers
Thorn
crossed.
Garden.
Yeah. Does it have a Thorn Garden?
No!
No! No! Oh! No! Go!
Yeah, it does.
Thank God. It's pretty much me going, oh, thank goodness, and then off the screen, oh! No! Go!
I remember when the Thorn Garden showed up, that woman down the front, standing O. She was like, are you seeing this? And I was like, I am. I really am.
You put out your cigar on a child, and he went, oh, that.
I was like, come over here, child. Where's your cheek? Puff it up with smoke so I can dap this cigarette out.
Carl?
Yes.
What the hell is this film? I know it's our job, but not even who would watch this. Who would make this?
Oh my God.
Who would
Isn't
write
it
this?
insane anybody greenlit this?
I have not seen the first. What's the tone of the first?
Sorry?
Is it just like basic?
Yeah, like it's
fine?
darker. Like what's wild is this is a much darker conceptual movie.
Brightly
Told.
Bright as hell.
The other one's like kind of darkish, it's like one of those things where it's like they don't commit to like Maleficent being a villain. So but she still just says like well a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just like I don't know how any of this happens.
No,
I don't know how any of this happens.
I'm so shocked that this isn't more of like a cultural thing, because 500 million is made 500 million.
Yeah.
Couldn't tell you a single person who saw it.
Me.
Of you. And what the hell?
Like
what the hell?
It's just like, do you understand why I was so rocked after seeing it?
Yeah, because it's such like it's like one of those big films that's just sort of like should have been a fart. It should have been gone.
Yeah.
And it's had such an impact, and it should.
Yeah.
We won't spoil it, but let's just get into it.
Oh my god, we will. I think it opens incredibly when they go twice upon a time and basically go, because this is a sequel.
Yeah, it's
An incredible opening line. Also, they're like retroactively clearly don't know how to make like Maleficent still evil after her being very applauded as a good person.
This was a weird one. They were like, hey, so the first film happened, but just so you know, we all kind of forgot about it. Just so you're on the same page, she's still evil in most of our minds, and that's what we're going with.
The actual narrated line is, for some reason she was still hated. That's the actual line. Nobody went to go fix that up. It's like the pitch where you're just like, all right, we're gonna have a sequel. It'll be twice upon a time. Yeah. For some reason, she's still hated. We'll fix that up.
Fix that in post. Are you good writing? No. We'll just
like the premiere was happening and the writer was like, did we not fix that? We're 2 lines in. What else made it into this?
We doubled down the twice upon a time. We're really happy with that line. Pretty much really was most of the writing.
Yeah, I know, right? We're introduced to like the fairy godmothers.
Yes.
Who look like bobbleheads.
Oh, they're hideous.
They're the worst effects in the movie.
Yeah. Which is weird because they're only like they're returning characters. It's the girl from Umbridge and 2 others. I don't know.
I know. It's weird that they're not just people. Why are they like CGI'd almost looking creatures?
Things. I will say this right now. And like, sure, things happen in the film, but I will stress this is one of my like least favorite genres of sort of like not kids film, but like adults can enjoy gross little fantasy creatures. I hate the creatures in this.
Yes,
they're gross looking.
I think like the thing is when you compare this to stuff like Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter, the thing that sells you on all of those mythical things happening is the fact that they're in these real locations.
Yeah,
but because everything else is also CGI, except for the main actor. You're just like, you're just kind of standing in an animated movie.
Yeah.
And it looks like it's just animated, so much of it. It doesn't look like real CGI, it looks animated.
Yeah, I can't think. There's some sets, that tree they chat around.
That tree.
You know.
What a high bar.
Yeah.
Probably also wasn't
real. They didn't interact with the tree.
CGI's become so good at faking practical things to the point where it's like, why don't you just get a fucking tree?
Yeah, get a tree. It's probably cheaper than like, it probably costs like 50 grand for a tree, right?
Yeah.
I don't know how CGI works.
We find a little Sleeping Beauty hanging around.
Yes.
She's just talking to random animals and is like, Pinto, why would you say that? Horseradish, what are you flying over here for? How dare you say that about Unicorn Face? Like,
it is the worst meeting, isn't it? It's the hideous. What is this meeting? What are they chatting about? Get them out of here.
It's like,
she strokes like a gross little frog thing. She's like, oh, you'll be the pretty one.
I think this 100% should have just been like an AA meeting.
Aurora, you look fucked. Big bad guys, you're back on the magic dust, on the fairy dust.
That's right. Studying a lot of that moonshine, are you? We're gonna have to have a look at your bath. Just like fucking giant mix of moonshine. She's like, I swear. She's like, I just need another hit to be back asleep.
Come on, give me another hit of that spindle, bitch. I need to fucking prick this goddamn arm. Her arm just covered in welts.
It's just welted. You've clearly got such a Maleficent's just like, well.
Isn't my little druggie
I know, right?
who's been dipping themselves in the little magic spot.
It was one of those things where I'm just like, am I supposed to remember these characters from the last movie? I remember Elle Fanning. The magical characters, though, were they in the last one? I've only ever seen the last one once in cinemas when it came out.
I mean, you get Maleficent, you get Elle Fanning.
Yeah.
The prince who
Is a recast.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Because his name's Prince Philip. That feels wrong. I don't know why. That doesn't feel like you should have called him Prince Philip.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he must have been Prince Philip in the original, right?
I know, but like change his name. Like, who's a big sleeping? If you're a Sleeping Beauty fan and you really want his name to be that, sure.
You're a big Sleeping Beauty fan.
Big Sleeping Beauty fan. Love the rose thorns. Love the big black dragon at the end.
So anyway, the Elle Fanning's like running around after a crown. There's like a section where she reaches out and falls into water, and it's just like, why'd you reach out? They were bringing you the crown.
Bringing you the crown.
Just wait.
That little
you impatient little bitch. Just wait.
God, you're so fucking annoying. You dumb slut. Wait for the crown. This little hedgehog thing who's like, I hate that he's a character.
Oh, I know, right?
This little hedgehog thing plays the crown. It's like, oh, you won't get this crown. And then...
No.
Ugh,
That little hedgehog is just like...
hideous.
I'm also...
Do you think it looks like the Sonic before they redo it?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Must have been the same animator. One of those things where I'm like, I wouldn't have been surprised if Disney retroactively was like, that's the LGBT representation. We nailed it. You guys should be pleased. That little hedgehog's gay. It's a little twink. All right?
Well,
Accept that.
He gets with the mushroom thing.
That's what I looked at it, and I was just like, there it is. That's for the gays.
The Disney exec going, this hideous little thing, gay. This gross little mushroom.
They're sexually ambiguous and they're holding hands. That's representation. Say no more. It's like an Onward when that one cop is just like, I'm going to go back to my wife. And everybody was, I'm going to pat myself on the back. Look at us. Pixar having gay characters. This guy rocks up. He proposes to her under a tree.
Yeah.
Then like a crow flies away with the news to Maleficent.
Oh, God.
And this crow man...
This Cockney crow, just like, oh, Maleficent, get this, your bloody daughter's engaged to Prince Philip. And Maleficent's like, well.
If it isn't Crow.
Crow. How far does the crow fly?
Yeah,
Crow.
by way of the crow. Oh, you've got a little bit of crow's feet under there. It's so, like, he's so Cockney, and all he does is talk about how he's a crow.
Yeah.
Anytime somebody's just like, hey, you having a good day? And he's like, I'm a fucking crow.
He's so one-dimensional, but such in a weird way.
Oh my God.
What a
right?
crow dimension.
It's just like one of those fantastic writing things where you're just like, we're going to define the character by being a crow. You're like, I get it. I hate the
big whiteboard crow. Circle that. What else he got? Okay, nothing. Just a crow.
I forgot that Angelina Jolie just has wings. Totally forgot that was a factor. When she flies away, I was like, oh yeah, she's got wings.
So this is I don't really get it. She pretty much is like the strongest being in the world. She's like Superman for this world. Yeah. And she's like, and pretty much Elle Fanning's like, hey, you need to ask my mum for permission. And Prince Philip's like, well, you have to ask my parents for permission. Oh no, one's an evil Superman and one's the king and queen. This is a really weird part of the film.
It is. It's just, there's so many things of just like her being like, you want me to meet his parents,
but I'm an evil witch.
Oh no.
Mum, you're gonna have to make small talk. The crow and her do this smiling bit in the mirror.
Oh my God, it's such an awful bit.
It is an awful bit.
It's one of those things where it's just like, I think Angelina Jolie was probably fine in the first Maleficent. I think she's barely trying here.
No. She's not really in it, I don't think.
Yeah, it's weird. It's one of those movies, it feels like nobody's in it.
No, right? It's except that filthy little porcupine. That gross little fucker's always around. And Warwick Davis is always in it. But yeah, no, it's an empty movie. I couldn't tell you who the main character is.
I know, it's just one of those movies where it just looks like the world doesn't exist past this castle.
Yeah.
You know, there's ones where it's like you haven't put in the effort to make it feel like it's lived in.
No.
Which is one of the things that's like, I think that you can like compliment something like Avatar for. Is it feels well thought out enough that you can understand why people became very obsessed with the concept of that place. Yeah. This doesn't.
Even the castle, the grounds are flat. It feels like a video game.
Well, it's completely flat ground. I don't understand how people harvest or live there.
No. Well, let's go through the locations. You got the moor, like where the creek.
We said the mall, and I was like,
mall.
Just like, we're gonna go to the mall.
Shopping. Get you looking back and stuff for the queen. Okay, you got the hideous little creatures. They live in a swamp.
Yeah.
That's where Sleeping Beauty lives, I think. You got Maleficent's evil.
Who knows where Sleeping Beauty sleeps?
No clue. Under a tree.
She should smell like utter shit.
She should. I think there is a joke where they go, "You smell like shit," to one of the characters.
That's right. They flat out say that line for line.
He's like, "Fucking dung, mum."
That's the opening where they go, for some reason she was still hated and she still smelled like shit.
Yeah, so you got the creepy little swamp, you got the beautiful nice castle, you got Maleficent's like evil tree.
Yeah.
And you've got this like spiky island where the other, what do you call them?
It's literally a nest.
It's a nest.
We'll talk about the nest. I've got a lot to say about the nest.
That's the 4 locations.
Yeah,
that's it.
It's barely anywhere.
No.
The entire film is barely
You have
anywhere.
no idea where anything is. There's also the sea. The sea gets a shout out.
Sure. Props to the sea.
Props to the sea.
Stay in blue.
Oh god, it's good, isn't it?
Gorgeous
Love
little
the
bit
sea.
of blue. Anyway, look, they go over for dinner. Dinner doesn't go very well.
No, it's the Shrek 2 scene, which
Oh, it is. Somebody literally goes, "Donkey!"
Yeah.
The dinner doesn't go very well.
No.
So the king.
What do you mean the dinner doesn't go very well? The king gets stabbed.
We don't know that yet.
Oh god.
Actually, in the lead up, we find out that like underneath the castle, like a fucking just armies brewing.
Yeah.
To the point that's like surely people would catch on. Like it would be. It seems loud.
I'll be honest. This kingdom's like politics ridiculous.
No clue.
Who? What? Which? Okay, one, the queen is like, you gotta make them live in fear. And I don't know how everyone is armed to the teeth. It's like, what are we fighting for? What are we?
I was like, is it supposed to be a commentary on Trump?
Oh,
Because there's a part where it's like her whole thing at the end is she's like, people hate you, Maleficent, because I spread false news.
Oh my
and you're like, what is happening?
Michelle Pfeiffer.
Yeah,
Oh, she's
I
the
know.
queen, by the way.
Yeah.
You ever spelt Michelle Pfeiffer's last name?
No, that's why I just call her MP.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She doesn't follow the I before E except after C rule.
If I recall, there's like 11 Fs.
There is.
There's so many
So
Fs.
many Fs.
Michelle.
No, all the F's in the Michelle part.
All silent.
6 F's after the second L.
And then an E and a little apostrophe over the E to make it a little bit French.
Oh, Frank.
A little bit French.
Shit.
Well,
So the king gets cursed, and everyone's like, Maleficent, you're an evil bitch.
So Maleficent runs away. She
Yeah.
gets shot, and then something saves her.
Yeah.
We'll come back to that.
Come back to that.
During this time, they're like, "Oh god, the king looks sick," and everybody's like, "Why don't you make out with him?" Michelle Pfeiffer's like, fuck.
She gives
I don't want to give him. I don't want to give him a smooch.
I don't want to give him a smooch.
I don't want to give him
I
a
don't wanna give
smooch.
it. And the king, Prince Philip's like head on. It's like, Mum, you're gonna give Daddy a fucking kiss, and it's gross. It goes for 20 minutes.
I know. It's like she then gives the most pathetic smooch, and the son's just like, "What if you gave him head?"
Oh, you such a little diddle. Come on. That was Willy Mummy. It's just like,
She's
oh,
like-
God.
She's like, had I known this is what would happen, I wouldn't have gone through the plan. So Angelina Jolie, she wakes up, she's in just a giant fucking nest.
God. I will say this, positive to the film. This is a cool look. Actually, no, it's not cool looking. It just reminds me of that Spike Jonze Where the Wild Things Are. And
yeah.
I don't like that film because I watched it as a child, and Spike did
So
not
dark.
not made for children.
It's so dark.
That
He was like,
man-
what if that children's book was fucked up?
Yeah, fucked up. What did the kid went through? Like awful things, and I was like, I just read the book, and I was I was so upset with that.
I
film.
just wanted to see what the wild things are, and he's like, well, where they are is abusive.
One of them loses an arm.
I know,
Oh
right?
my god.
And so he's like, I want to make her for kids. It's just like, what do you mean? That just crushed me so much.
Oh, I wasn't ready for it. I was ready for hey, weird he's made that her and Jackass. That's his entire
Honestly, if you take a step back, it makes sense.
It makes sense.
It does make sense. Johnny
Jackass
Knoxville's
has-
and all. Anyway, so she wakes up. It's in a giant nest. I'm confused as to how bird-like these people are.
know.
Did they collect all of these twigs and weave them themselves?
I think so. What are they called? Because I don't know what they're called though.
I only called them other Maleficents.
Yeah.
That's all they are.
Cool.
They're
Alright,
just
sweet.
other Maleficents.
But they're less powerful?
Yeah, because they're not old. They're all young. It's like Maleficent's like a
Spring
direct
chicken.
Yeah.
And
They're all chicklets.
Yeah.
She's a fully grown hen.
oh god, she's a hen.
She's like, well, look who's the mother hen has returned. Got some eggs for me to lay on. I'm gonna fertilize the shit out of them. Like,
Maleficent, we're children.
it's so funny because this whole she walks in and one of them's just like talking to a ball and is like, look at this ball. What does it say? We hate humans. Uh-oh.
So what are these? Again, this film is just other films. This is kind of like the Na'vi, like
Yeah, I
Avatar,
know, right?
and their plan is to attack the kid. What
It
are
feels
they?
like there's 11 of them until the end when they're like, there's hundreds.
There's literally thousands upon
There's
thousands.
so many
of us.
There's a part where they're like, we'll have a big celebration and it's like somebody interpretive dancing around a fire and 3 of them clapping.
Yeah, it's like, well, we're going to take out all the humans.
My favorite one's the one that's only dressed in white and looks like Jesus.
I've got the names of them.
Fuck off.
Every time I wrote them down, I went, fuck, that's stupid. All right.
Like Oscar, Carl.
What are their names? Their names are... Oh, it's stupid.
Jedediah.
The black guy who's in like 12 Years a Slave.
Yeah, Chiwetel Ejiofor. He's
Yeah.
also in Salt with Angelina Jolie.
Wow. I haven't thought of Salt in so long.
I know.
No one has.
Nobody has. I want a sequel. Kind of.
His
no.
name is Pepper.
Is that his name?
No.
Oh,
the sequel to
the
Salt.
sequel. Yeah.
His name's Conal.
What?
The other creepy white dude with dreads, his name is Bora. I wrote that down quite a few times. I had to keep going to the IMDb to look up what their names were.
Bora is how I would describe how I feel in the movie right now.
Oh, you've nailed him. You fucking nailed this film.
I don't get how they're actually birds. They live in a nest. It looks like they may be pecket worms. You're not
Yeah.
entirely sure.
They've got the beak, the nose for it.
I know.
A few of them.
There's also just the part where they're like, look, this is how our society runs. And it's the white one just throwing children off a cliff and Chiwetel Ejiofor being like, we just hope they fly. Like, it's just...
Pretty much our basis of our economy. This is how we run this place. What
What do they live on?
I've got no clue. They're in the middle of a sea.
Desolate, it's nest.
Yeah.
That is it. What do they feed on?
What? I don't understand. They're so far away from the humans.
I know.
Why do they want to take over?
Famously, this is how birds die. If they build a nest in the middle of the sea, you're not lasting.
We learn that every day in bird studies. And
Isn't the thing where it's like if a bird flies out to sea, it's like to die. It's like, oh, my time's run
no,
out.
that's like a
A cat?
yeah. Cats famously go, all right, I'm gonna jump on a boat. Fuck off to
Wasn't
sea."
a song in Cats, so I don't know.
Yeah, that's how I get most of my cat lore.
Ready to kill myself at sea.
That's what Tom Open should have done at the end. I'm gonna go out to the sea and fucking kill myself.
That's where that balloon goes. It's just like, oh no, I'm just going out to die. Let me off.
Angelical cats with a suicidal cat.
Angelical cats, and we
just
kill
ourselves.
ourselves too.
Oh god, let's get him on the phone. I think we've got a song. Yeah, I got no clue why they want to attack the humans. I don't know how they don't win against the humans. They can fly.
I don't know why they hate them. There's a part where they go out and they're like, look, this one's trapped in ember, and it looks like the mosquito from Jurassic Park trapped
is
in
that
ember.
what it was? Yeah, so essentially, Maleficent's hurt.
Maybe she gets over it really fast.
So quick.
Yeah.
Canal
Yep.
is like, check out that. Pretty fucked up. The humans did that. It's just like a big yellow rock.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
They do this thing where it's like anytime they need to walk anywhere, they just fly a few meters.
Yeah.
It's like what's the other ones?
Bora.
Bora is standing like 3 meters away, and Chiwetel Ejiofor is like, I'm gonna go talk to him for a moment. Turns around, flies a meter. Maleficent's standing there being like, I can hear you. Either of you could have just walked. Like,
He farted and wanted to get the wings out of it. Float away. Get the
Maleficent's
like,
like, oh, well, who did
who
this?
did a stinky one in the nest?
It breaks the ember and the bones shatter.
I don't know what
I don't know what's
is.
happening. The next scene, Chiwetel Ejiofor dies. Yeah, it's so quick. It's like there's these little flowers.
Yes.
That if you pick them and turn them into shit, it like kills magical creatures, right?
It's like red gas dust.
Yeah, it's pretty much mustard gas.
Yeah.
It's really
So this
disgusting.
this first film has been like Shrek 2, Avatar.
Yeah.
We now get
Meet the Fockers.
Meet the Fockers, essentially. And then the last 40 minutes
is little Fockers.
Yeah, it's little Fockers. It's a war crime, essentially. No, it's grim. They introduce mustard gas into the film.
So they're making the mustard gas. It turns out the flowers are born from where they bury creatures. Anyway, so she's looking over and she's like, "Oh no, this is where everybody buries one another." A bullet it goes off, and Chiwetel Ejiofor just fucking dives in front of it, and I was like, "Oh no, I'm dead now."
He's dead. I don't know why they were here. I don't know why they
keep doing this. Move somebody out of the way.
They
don't need to take a bullet.
They always do that. It happens again at the end. They grab someone and they do a 180.
Don't do a 180. Do a 90.
Push.
No, just do a 90. The bullet will go through the
Right
middle
through
of you.
you.
I'm convinced these characters don't know what left or right is. They're like, no, I can only turn in 180s.
Which way? I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
I can only imagine that it's just because they're birds and they have no understanding of direction.
That or they know that straight is the only way right.
I love the idea that they look up and just like that Borden one is just fucking in a circle. It's just like, I'm in a panic.
He's not getting buried in the graveyard.
Oh god. So anyway, they all get invited to the wedding of Philip and Elle Fanning.
Yes.
This is one of those other things where it's just like, I don't get. It's like all magical creatures in that entire forest can fit in the left side of a church.
Yeah.
It's just that one of those things where you just like, it just feels like this isn't a full world.
No, and because
they're mostly butterflies.
Yeah, butterflies taking up a lot of fucking space. There's also like, I think we count at the start like a lot of trees. There's like 48 trees.
Yeah.
Creatures, and in this one there's maybe 2 in the church.
I know, right? They're
I
like,
know it's a nitpick, but like, come on.
It makes no sense.
No,
Makes no sense.
But then again, after this, the film continues to make no sense.
God. So before we get to it, Elle Fanning finds out that the Queen is the one that's actually stabbed the King with the little prick of what she got touched with to fall asleep.
Yeah.
There's a scene where the son is just by his dad's side before the wedding, and I was like, because I couldn't remember, I was like, does he make out with the dad and that's the true love? It's not, but I was like, is he going to snog his dad? Is it going to happen?
Exactly like, we got the hedgehog, you get no more. I swear to fucking God. No. Yeah, and Warwick Davis is making these awful gas.
I know, there's a part where like Elle Fanning reaches out to him and just rips his clothes off, and she's like, you're a pixie.
Yeah.
And he's like, how dare you call me that word?
That's a slur in our country. That's pretty fucked up.
That's our word. Oh god. So anyway, let's discuss what happened. Actually, no. Before I do that, they're coming to wage war. The bird people.
Yes.
They cover themselves in war paint that is white and black. It looks like bird shit. It looks like they've all shat and just been like, and the black is gonna go here, and the white's gonna go here.
And a little bit in my mouth. A little bit in my mouth.
A little bit of I'll have a scoop for me, a scoop for the face.
Oh, 2 in my mouth.
Where's all the war paint? Oh, I ate all the bird shit.
I'm full of the brim of bullshit.
I couldn't fly. I'm so gluttonous right now.
I'm way down. You wouldn't believe how dense this bird shit is.
It's all fiber.
Our diet's mainly sticks.
We haven't eaten in so long. We're in the middle of the ocean in a desolate little nest.
What do you think salty water shits like? I can tell you the consistency is barren.
Just leave the war for another day. Let me digest this.
Give me a couple of days. Just really let it pass through, and then we'll get on.
Then we'll get some more war paint out of it, and nobody let me near it because I'll be starved.
That's how they've lived this long. Anyway, yeah. So fucking wild that it started off as like a fun little wedding. We've pretty much got a massive war and a wedding.
A wedding of genocide.
That's right.
Do you want to explain the plan?
Okay. The Queen's henchmen has filled up all the hideous little creatures in this church, including the 3 fairy godmothers. She then has the red, like, fairy dust in an organ. She's doing that thing where one of the piano keys is like a big red thing.
Just a single piano key.
Single piano key.
And it only releases the gas through a single tube of the piano.
Yes. She then presses that. The fairies start fucking dying. The creatures are all getting gas. It's you don't want to compare it to a thing, but it's a thing that happened in the last 100 years, and we shouldn't probably have Maleficent too. So that's where we're at.
It's the fact that this one henchman's gone, oh, look, I'm going to commit genocide, but I do want to flex my creative flair.
Oh yeah, I want to be, and don't get me wrong, the hedgehog's stealing the show, but I want to have a bit of the
It's
flair.
one of those things where it's like, if they wanted to, you could have them all dead by just releasing the gas in the church.
Well, you're the psychopath for thinking how to tactically kill these creatures.
Well, it's just like, if they wanted to do it, why are they doing it in the most
It's a bit
elongated
flamboyant.
way?
It's a bit flamboyant.
It's just like, because here's the thing, it takes them. The person playing the piano is mere feet away from them. One of those trees could just swat her away. The issue's done.
The tree's like, well, how do we get out of this church? It has glass windows.
We can't smash windows.
We're just
too
a humble.
polite.
Got a bunch of the hideous little... Oh, they're gross. I don't know what they're called. They're like elephant frogs. They're gross little toady things. Everyone's like, get underground. They're all like under the pews.
There's
Like,
a
that's gonna
part.
do
There's a part
shit.
where the fairies are about to be killed, and a tree just gets in front of them and takes the gas for them.
Harrowing.
Two things. They can fly.
Yeah.
Move to the left. Why do
180. Tree in there.
It's also like that person could have easily gone up and just swatted that bitch away from the piano.
Oh, 100%. She's not even... I don't think she's even elevated. She's like kind of like up a couple of steps.
She's not. She couldn't be more in the open. Couldn't be more in the open.
And quite
She's
frankly,
begging
a
to be
massive target.
swatted.
Yeah, it was a massive organ. Everything leads to her.
I know. You couldn't not see that it comes to... Also, she's hitting the piano key every 3 minutes.
Yeah.
She's doing
she's
full
doing it.
Beethoven, then hitting a key.
Yeah, it's not like it works with the song. She's like, fuck, that's right, I was murdering.
Sometimes she doesn't hit a key because it's not the right key for the song.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, it's been 30 minutes. Oh, no, one day I'll hit the key.
Oh, God, it's a lot of E flat.
That's right. It's all down this end. Why didn't we put the key down here?
That tree gets, like, ferried, like gassed.
Yeah.
And, it's harrowing. He turns his face into, like, just a tree, and the fairy's like, oh, God, we're boned.
So, who has to take charge? The fairies.
Yeah, the 3 godmothers.
Yep.
The blue one's like, well, I know this is a G-rated film, but I'm going to be a martyr. Go up the organ pipe and literally suicide kamikaze, essentially.
She kamikazes herself. She's flying down the pipe. The gas is coming up. They're about to collide. It cuts to silence, and all you hear is... And it's just like her exploding into trees throughout all of the pipes.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh my God.
So awful. And I thought there was, like, I don't know, a spell to bring these guys back to life.
No, they're
Nope,
dead.
They're dead.
They are dead.
So dead.
During this time, Prince Philip has no clue.
No.
He's still by his father's side being like, I just don't know if I should kiss you or
I
not.
just don't know, but is anyone watching? Would anyone
Like,
care?
Would anyone like, it's just me and you against the world, Dad.
Come on, a bit of teeth, I don't know.
A bit of teeth. That's the secret. It's like the only reason he like finds out is Elle Fanning's like bursts through the window and is like, there's a fucking war going on out there, and he's like, oh God,
you ruined the mood.
He's like, I swear I wasn't contemplating making out with my dad. She's like, you don't have to make out with him. We've got the exact same scarring. And he's like, oh, we should probably still make sure.
We've got to make sure.
We've got to make sure.
Lock lips with his...
He's like, 3-way kiss. I do love the fact that they're the same little pimple holes. Like, look, we've both got pimple holes.
Yeah.
And he's like, why, they're the same. And she's like, yes, Philip, that's what I'm showing you. They are the same.
That's the same. It's a crazy plan on the Queen's point, because she's like, 1, I'll commit genocide on the little creepy animals.
Yep.
2, I'm going to also wage war against essentially a pretty hard enemy.
Bird people.
Yeah, they can fly.
They can fly.
They're-
They can fly. They can fly. They can fly. I love that one of their main powers is just fucking building more nests.
Yeah.
It's all they've got.
Yeah, because they can control the tree. They got the vines.
Yeah, except for Maleficent, whose other most intense power is just making crow-related objects.
Oh yeah, she can really crow it.
There's a part where the crow man gets turned into a bear, and you're like, "Oh my god, that's sick! Is he going to be a bear? No, it's a crow bear."
It's a crow bear. It's a crow bear.
Convinced the digital animator only knew how to do crow-related things. Like
that hedgehog got a little beak, little couple wings.
Why does everything have a beak? And he's like, "That's what I'm good at."
You look at his notes, just shitty noses. He's like, no, I can't fucking do it. A beak's so easy. It's a triangle. What the fuck's a nose?
He's like, fine, you try draw a nose, then you dick.
Yeah, cunt. There's a war.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was going to happen.
There's a war. A lot of people die.
A lot of people die.
So many die.
Yeah, so we got the genocide in the church. We got a lot of the birds.
So many of the birds die.
Yeah.
On top of that, so many of the soldiers die. I would say a third to half of the people and the birds are killed in this war.
Yeah.
Before Maleficent, right? Actually, no. The Philip goes to confront his mother.
Yeah.
And she's like, you know what? You can also be arrested, and his getaway is jump on a kite.
Oh, what the hell was that? He jumps in a kite. He then flies down to like the castle gardens. He goes up to the general, I assume, and go, "Hey man, war's not cool." And the general's like, "Cease fire!" I don't know how. Sure, I don't know war tactics, but I know for a fucking fact if you're getting attacked and you say stop, I don't know. It doesn't feel like they should stop.
Yeah.
Anyway, they do. They just do, don't
they? They do. Well, Maleficent rocks up.
Yeah.
She fucking burns a ton of people.
Oh my god, she's a dragon. She just fucks things up.
Well, she's not a dragon.
No.
She's a crow dragon.
She's a crow dragon.
You're like, I remember being like, fuck yeah. There's this dragon. Let her turn into a dragon. What'd she turn into? A fucking giant crow.
Big crow.
Big crow. I love the big we spent $3 million on this effect. I can't wait to see the dragon. And the guy's like, again, I'm bad with dragon faces.
I'm bad with dragon faces, and also I can't make them fly. We're gonna have the Queen push Sleeping Beauty off the building.
It's
Michelle Pfeiffer,
the funniest,
such
the biggest laugh I've maybe had in a film in a while is Michelle Pfeiffer being like, "Fuck it," and just pushing her and running in the opposite. It works a treat.
It works a treat.
Yeah.
The big crow bird is like, well, fuck, grabs her, and then they fall to the ground.
It was also one of those things where it was like Elle Fanning was down on the ground. Maleficent flew to then talk to Michelle Pfeiffer. Elle Fanning was just up there.
Yeah.
That's like running up a skyscraper.
Oh my god! There's steps.
There's not an elevator.
No.
All right.
It's medieval steps too. It would have been very spiraling.
Yeah, there are so many spirals. Would have been maybe 50 minutes for her to get to the top.
Easily.
50 minutes. Only for her to get pushed off anyway. And she'd be like, "Oh, I just got up here."
Fucking hell. Yeah. So Maleficent essentially fucks everything up because of course she can.
I know.
She has like a green laser thing that just kills everything.
So then everything stops.
Yep.
They realize that Michelle Pfeiffer was the villain. This is the same day people's houses are destroyed. The kingdom's in shambles.
Yep.
So many people are dead on both sides.
Both sides.
Half of all fairy creatures are dead in a church, and everybody goes, wedding in an hour?
Yeah, let's fuck it. I think everyone should be pretty... I don't know, just adrenaline. If you've seen your best friend die, no way I'm sitting next to the enemy.
Yeah, for
just
sure.
have a nice ceremony.
Yeah.
You're not going to rehearsal.
God, no.
What is the ending of this? Because no way... Because essentially the Queen's she does a lot of monologues you gotta be evil to be a fucking leader. That's pretty much her. She's evil.
She's just evil. I think she should have died.
Yeah, she gets turned to a goat.
Crazy.
She committed genocide. She got turned to a goat.
It's almost like Disney saying you shouldn't be punished for genocide.
Yeah.
Because they're like, what if we made a comedic thing out of her being getting rid of?
Walt's track record isn't great for...
It's not, and that's why I thought it was so offensive.
Yeah.
So offensive.
Read the room, Disney.
Oh, God.
I don't know what the ending of this castle is. They're fucked. What kind of city will this be? Half its residents are killed. You've just introduced the villains into here. What would this even be?
Yeah, I have no idea. I don't understand why all the villagers would come to celebrate this wedding after what's just occurred.
Yeah, essentially a mum's Hitler.
Like
Hitler's daughter
all
and
of-
his son is not getting... Oh, not the son.
But all of these people would know people that were in the army that
Yeah.
was just murdered by Maleficent.
Oh, 100%.
Why would they come and celebrate
clue.
Maleficent's stepdaughter's wedding?
But also the queen who killed... Like,
Yeah, it's
there's
just
enemies.
It's so bizarre. On top of this, though, the Prince Philip's like, is that goat my mum?
Yeah.
Can we change her back or not? And the king rocks up out of nowhere and is like, if we have to.
Yeah,
and
what the hell?
He's literally just like, women, am I right?
Oh my god. Friggin' ball and chain. Friggin' goat. I think he wants to fuck the goat.
Oh my god, he rocks up and he's like, bitches be crazy.
Pinwheel crows on him like, ugh.
Oh,
So they get married. Maleficent flies off with 4 children. Who were the children?
I don't know where the
Were
children
they
have come
her
from.
kids?
Yeah.
Were they? Like her Angelina Jolie's kids.
I think they're...
They just pop
No,
up.
they're just kids.
Yeah.
Because it's weird, because then it cuts, and it's like Elle Fanning and Prince Philip just being like, oh, we're happy, and Maleficent's just like, you're pregnant. It's like, why would you know?
Yeah.
The little sonar thing from the bird being like,
Crow pound. Yeah, yeah.
it's just like, oh, there's a fetus.
Isn't that a bat? No, crows are also blind and they can detect children.
Oscar, final thoughts on Maleficent 2, Mistress of Evil?
What the hell? What the fucking like, play it safe. It made $500 million. Did
People like it. It's got like a 90% approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes from audiences.
Stop it. I guess
Surely a third will be coming out.
Oh, I don't know. It didn't make... Like, it cost $200 million, made $500 million.
But I mean, like, even if that meant, okay, well, the next one costs like $100 million.
Yeah.
If you're like, who knows how it's done on like Disney Plus and DVD sales and stuff like that.
I guess Disney Plus could kind of get it out.
Yeah.
It's
Well, you gotta. Their whole thing though is it's just like, yeah, the movie comes out. If the movie churns a profit, that's fine. On top of that, they're like action figures. Does it feed into theme park rides? Will kids buy the dress? Like, it's just like. It's like so much more. Like, the movies are at the little section that inspires like 30 other revenue streams. So it's like the reason, like, those Cars movies never make money, but they're the highest selling action figure of Disney.
It's
like,
easily. Like, I used to work at Target, and I remember the Cars thing was always on display. The Good Dinosaur we didn't even put out. That was in a cage, and we put it out for a second, and then immediately took it off. Like, God, it's crazy.
All right, Oscar. Who would watch Maleficent 2?
I don't know. I think a lot of people were coerced into watching because essentially it's like a Beauty and the Beast, which is I don't really like it, but I get like it's like it makes a bit of money and people will think it like it's just to go to the movie. It's fine. It's like if that one had like a harrowing metaphor for nuts. It's weird that it included this very dark subplot. So I don't know who. I think people accidentally had to watch this. I don't know. I'm very confused.
Yeah.
I don't know who would watch this. Carl, who do you think would watch this? I can make something up. Children from 13 to 26.
I don't know. Mammals? No, amphibians. Reptiles. I'm going to settle on reptiles. I'm glad we got to the bottom of that, which is almost to say this movie is for no one.
Yeah, but yet it made fun.
Even though so many people saw it and seemed to like it. Like,
I'd love to see someone
I'd love to know somebody that liked it. Hang on, I'm going to get up like a good review. Like this, Disney knows how to tell a good story. 10 out of 10. The film tells the story of a kingdom threatened by a fairy land. The story is simply great. It is engaging and takes you through many emotions. The characters are amicable and makes you care about them. Without spoiling the story, I even found myself looking forward to the reappearance of a supposedly evil character. The visuals are beautiful. I just love everything in this film.
Weird. I don't know.
How weird a review. This one's gone. The original film probably didn't need a sequel in the first place, and while this is decent enough, this is muddled. 3 out of 10. Imagine calling a movie decent and then going 3 out of 10.
I don't. 4. I always feel like you should start from like 5. That's an average film.
Yeah.
So 3's like, it sounds awful, but really it's just like...
I would never call a movie I mostly give movies on this podcast a 1 to a 1.5. I would never call them decent.
No, that's the thing. If a film's decent, honestly, my rating for these films is disgusting. An average film, I've never watched an average film essentially. It's just these and like
really good ones.
Yeah.
It's the thing. Doing this podcast makes you appreciate the most generic movie just because it makes sense. It's well acted.
It does.
It's consistent.
However,
it looks good.
I would say this: they're very boring.
I mean,
a lot of the time I'm watching just an average film. I'm like, oh, this is fine. And then I've forgotten it. I think I could chat in detail. We have about all the films we've done.
Yeah.
If I can't, then it's actually probably the worst one.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.